Hello creators and creative friends, welcome to this channel. In a previous video, I introduced some custom nodes that can help improve consistency when using the Flux.2 Klein model. Today, I want to show you a simpler method. This time, we'll use LoRAs. I'm going to introduce two LoRAs that not only improve consistency, but also give you more control when editing images. So let's jump into Configure and take a look at the workflow I prepared for this video. I also leave the workflow link in the video description. You can download it for free and import it directly into Configure. And if you use Running Hub like I do, things are even easier because the LoRAs are already installed on that cloud platform. Here is the portrait I loaded. The goal is to make the woman sit on rocks by the sea. In the original image, she is sitting on a railing on a street. This workflow includes 3 custom advanced samplers. In other words, it will generate 3 images so we can compare the results side by side. All 3 advanced samplers use the same schedulers, latent settings, and samplers. The only difference is the model used in each one. The first result was generated without any LoRa. When you compare it with the original portrait, you can see that Flux.2 Klein struggled to maintain consistency. Her face changes quite a bit, and her pose also shifts a lot. On top of that, there are problems with her feet. The second result uses this LoRa. Let me show it to you on Hugging Face. The author is DX8152, and I want to click the like button to show support. If you want to download this LoRa, look for the file called kleinconsistency.savetensors. Now let's go back to Configure. This image was generated with that LoRa, and as you can see, I labeled it DX8152. Right away, the consistency is much better. Her pose stays almost the same. And the feet are generated correctly as well. That matters a lot. When consistency is not preserved, the pose can change too much, and that often leads to anatomy issues. The third result uses another LoRa. This one is made by LRZ Jason. Again, I want to click the like button to show some support. There are several versions available here. I think these two were trained for the Q1 Edit model. This one is for Flux.2 Klein 4B. I'm using the latest version for the Flux.2 Klein 9B model. Now let's return to Configure and see how this LoRa performs. Here is the output from that LoRa. I labeled this image as well. It looks quite similar to the one generated with the DX8152 LoRa. The main difference is the lighting. This version looks more dramatic. I also used different strength settings for the two LoRas. One is set to 0.4 and the other is set to 0.6. Now let's move on to another task. This is the portrait I uploaded. The prompt says, let her right hand strum the strings, remove her shoes, and change the white background to a sunset beach. Now let's check the comparison images. The image on the far left was generated without a LoRa. To be honest, this task seems too difficult for Flux.2 Klein on its own, because as you can see, the woman ends up breaking her electric guitar. The other 2 images were generated with the LoRas. This time, with the help of those LoRas, Flux.2 Klein handles the task much better. The image generated with the DX8152 LoRa has more detail and more dramatic lighting. Once again, the LoRa strengths are different here. One is set to 0.3 and the other is set to 0.4. So based on these 2 examples, you can already see that both LoRas do a great job of maintaining consistency. At the same time, it is important to adjust the LoRa strength depending on the result you want. Also, a single generation may not be perfect. In many cases, you may need to generate a few more versions before you get one you're happy with. There is more to explore here as well. These 2 LoRas can do more than just improve basic consistency. So let's look at 2 more examples. In this task, the goal is to change the scene to nighttime. Let's check the outputs. Compared with the original portrait, the version generated without the LoRa changes the lighting too much. Even the color of her dress changes. With the LoRas, the edits are more controlled, and the original look of the image is preserved much better. Let's zoom in for a closer look. As you can see, this image has too much noise, but this other one looks much cleaner. Now let's look at one more example. This time, we want to add snow to the scene. In my opinion, the version without the LoRa adds too much snow. With the LoRas, you can control the amount of snow more precisely. If you compare these two outputs, one has less snow on the leaves, while the other has less snow on her hair. Up to this point, we've only been talking about editing a single image. But what about multi-image editing? Can these two LoRas help with that as well? Let's test it. The task here is to make the woman carry a handbag by its handle using only one hand. This is the handbag we want her to carry. Now let's look at the outputs. All of the results place the bag in her left hand. However, the version generated without the LoRa does not preserve the original pose well. In the original portrait, her hand should be touching her waist. This hand looks closer to the original pose. That said, I think carrying the bag in this pose looks a little unnatural. I actually prefer this pose with the 3 bent fingers, and the other 2 fingers still stay close to the original pose. So my suggestion is simple. Try both of these LoRas and see which one works better for your specific use case. I've added the links to both LoRas in the video description below. And if you want to see more tutorials like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.